Okay, Shoes for Kids is a ministry that was birthed out of Legacy Life. It was the heart of Legacy Life. And for those who are relatively new, may not know how it started. When Apostle Joshua went and picked up his son Ben in Taiwan, one of the first things he did was put a pair of shoes on his feet. And at that time, he had a dream, he had a vision of putting shoes on fatherless children, children at risk, right here in Orlando. And since then, with connections with community leaders and many churches, that was manifested in 12-12-12 God Day, when in Lake Eola, they put on thousands of shoes on children's feet, and every child was prayed over. And each year we have continued to distribute shoes to at-risk children right here in Orlando. We've done it at our Kirkland Church. When we moved to the executive airport, we actually did them and went into the community and distributed shoes. So how do we get and are able to distribute shoes? The basic foundation is we collect used shoes. And in the past years, we've had a little trouble getting enough shoes. We've done contests and we have collected shoes. And how do you go about getting used shoes? Well, of course, the first thing you do is you go into your own closet. It's spring cleaning time, so this is the time to do it. I'm sure that everybody has at least one pair of shoes in their closet that they can turn into our drives. Now, okay, you shoe addicts, do you really need 50 pairs of shoes? Let's release some of those shoes. Those shoes want to be on somebody else's feet. Set them free. Okay, so what else do we do after we go into our own closets? We check with our families. You can go into their closets or you can ask them to go into their closets. Your friends, your neighborhoods. You know, it's funny how we really don't get to know our neighbors until a hurricane comes along and suddenly we're all very neighborly. Well, you know what? You can contact your neighbors and tell them you're collecting these shoes. It's amazing, people, when they understand what Shoes for Kids is about, they are more than happy to contribute. We can provide you with flyers if you want to circulate them in your neighborhoods and tell them that you're collecting shoes. At your workplace, where you shop, I know that both Blanche and Rosa have collected a lot of shoes in their workplaces. I know that Megan has every year gets her chiropractor to put a box there and collect shoes. I know in my office, I connected with the accountants who do our taxes for the business, and they put a box up. So you'd be surprised. You can go to your places that you frequent and ask them if you can put a box of shoes there. So again, we do this, as Megan mentioned. We partner with shoes with other partners. The Healthy Kids Run. We do that every year in spring and fall. And the parents bring in shoes as we volunteer to help. We partner with Winter Park Sustainability, which is they go and they clean at the watersheds. And we're there, they let the volunteers know that we're there to collect shoes and they bring them. We've participated in the Earth Days in Veg Fest, letting people know that we're there. So one of the questions is, why do we bother to collect these used shoes? Well, in the first place, it gets them out of the landfill. So let's go green. The mandate in the county is to reduce the landfill. Second, these shoes that are usable go to a child in a third world country where they don't have any shoes on their feet. And thirdly, we collect the money to enable us to buy shoes for children right here in Orlando. Now, we want to see this even grow more. We want to be able to put shoes on children's feet in the orphanage in South Africa, where our mission teams visited.
Yes.
We want this to be, as Apostle said a couple weeks ago, let's make it Shoes for Kids global. So as Megan mentioned, we have the list here to sign up for the 10 Fest, which again, this is an unusual event that they're doing because it's 10 years of Healthy Kids Run that they're celebrating. But then the very next week, we'll be starting our regular Healthy Kids Run. This takes place from 4 to 5, again at Baltimore Park, and we help and we volunteer to help on that. And that's only from 4 to 5, but we need to be there at 3:30 to help set up, and about 5:30 we're finished as we clean up. So it's just 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon. So we have sign-up sheets for that. We only usually need about 4 volunteers for that. Again, for this next week that's happening, there's a lot of things going on. There's going to be the blessings for Tiffany and Trevor. So it's going to be abbreviated service because, again, we'll have to take everything down, and we need to get to Baldwin Park by 12:45. So just to let you know, we're going to pass this around, and where they need help is the timers, trash, kids' activity table. So if there's a space there, there's nobody's name there, pull it out. Again, the date of birth and your phone number. If your name's printed there, we've already got your information. The course marshals are basically somebody who's going to stand there and make sure the children stay on the course and that nobody else goes on the course. The group leaders, the children are divided into age groups and girl and boy. So a group leader would be over, say, okay, 2 to 4-year-olds girls, 2 to 4-year-olds boys. So those are the various groups, and you just need to be there to make sure the children come in there, keep the children there until it's their time to run. So this week we're starting spring cleaning, shoes for kids, clean up. So we want you to bring your shoes, and we're starting next week. Everybody's going to take a bag home with them, okay? 25 pairs of shoes, fill a bag, and we want lots of bags. When you get one filled up, we'll be glad to give you another one. Ask your friends, your neighbors, if they will fill up a bag of shoes for you, because we can make this happen, and we can distribute a lot of shoes this year if we collect a lot of used shoes. Originally, we had said any style shoe, or rather any condition. That's no longer the case because we do not have a resource for distributing damaged shoes. So it's shoes that are usable. Now, what's a usable shoe? All right, you bought a pair of shoes, you wore them 3 times, you really don't like them. You know what? We'll take them. Kids outgrow shoes so quickly. We want your children's used shoes. So that's what we're looking for, shoes that can be used by somebody else. Thank you.
I just want to clarify 2 things. We're not concerned about dirt because the shoes will be cleaned. We're concerned about holes and things. So if it's damaged, we can't take it. But any style shoe is fine, right down to flip-flops. We'll take those. So any style or size.